Thanks, Stephen. Well, in Fayetteville, City Council members decided not to take action right now on an ordinance that would repeal a rule capping so-called junk fees for renters. The ordinance would have capped background checks and application fees at $40 per property, and applicants would be refunded for background checks that weren't run. The city's attorney introduced an ordinance to repeal the rule due to it possibly being in conflict with state law, setting up a legal fight. City leaders say they want to wait to find more solutions before repealing the ordinance.
I think it does our community a disservice to repeal this without something to replace. I think that that's very, we're able to do that within the time frame we've given ourselves, postponing to the end of March. I think it's very doable. I've already started to do diligence in that manner.
Unfortunately, our Attorney General has spoken for right now. I would love some creative solutions. I'd love some creative ideas.
After public comments, council members repeatedly said they plan to work harder at finding more workarounds in the affordable housing crisis. The council also approved a resolution that would reaffirm the city's goal to be a welcoming and inclusive community. The welcoming plan supports the integration and inclusion of new Americans in Fayetteville. It adds that the city wants to promote diversity through programs and policies and highlight how immigrants and refugees have contributed to the area. The resolution does not make Fayetteville a sanctuary city. Right now, police want people to be on the lookout for an Arkansas man involved in an Amber Alert out of Wisconsin. Police say Gary Day was last seen in Beaver Dam, Wisconsin with 16-year-old Sophia Franklin. We're told the victim is 3 months pregnant. Police say Day is believed to be driving a black Buick LaCrosse and could have a Pennsylvania license plate or an Arkansas license plate, BBR 20L. If you see them, call 911. Arkansas State Police say they've confiscated over 2,800 pounds of marijuana in Crawford County on Monday. They pulled over a tractor trailer for a traffic stop. When they searched the trailer, they say they found 7 pallets containing over 100 boxes of marijuana. The driver, Jiping Mu from Washington State, is now facing felony charges of drug trafficking. And Fort Smith city directors say they need another 2 weeks to decide sewer rate increases.
I don't think this is fair to the people. You all trust us to take the best interest of you, but I'm not doing this.
I wasn't prepared to vote for this tonight. I've still got things I'd like answered, and so I'd like to table this to the next regular meeting.
I second that motion.
Directors last night voted to table that decision until the next regular board meeting. The plan is to raise sewer rates by 3.5% each year starting June 1st and ending in 2030. These increases are designed to help pay for sewer improvement work mandated by the federal government. Well, development that's been in the works for years is getting more traction to finalize a Black Historic District in Fayetteville. Last year, City Council voted in favor of adding a Black Historic District, but for it to be official, the process consists of collecting signatures to send to the state. If the state agrees, the district would then be finalized.
It's not just the number of lots, but the number of owners, and so it's going to be at least 250. Okay, it's going to be at least that. But I feel confident that we're going to do it.
One thing that's important to know is that we did this with a state grant, and that comes with certain parameters. So we have about 16 months to complete the project. We asked for money that we could hire a consultant who is an expert in this type of work.
Key projects for the district also include economic development with small businesses and art initiatives. Arkansas lawmakers spent hours discussing whether or not public school students should be required to watch a controversial video about pregnancy. The plan is to show the Meet Baby Olivia video to students as young as 5th grade. It's a 3-minute video created by an anti-abortion group called Live Action. It shows an animated fetus growing over time. On Tuesday, a bill to require it passed the Republican-dominated committee, but not before debate over its educational value.
Requiring children to view a medically inaccurate video created and promoted by an extremist group is unethical, unfair, and dangerous.
This is science. This is education. And this is what we need to put back in schools.
The references to the advocacy group would be removed if the bill passes. It could go before the full House Thursday. Meanwhile, a law that would eliminate cell phones in public schools is quickly moving through the Arkansas legislature. The measure would ban personal electronic devices for the entire school day. The bill does make certain exceptions for medical uses and emergencies. The goal is to improve academic learning and mental health. Superintendents across the state say even if the state bans devices, more will need to be done to address mental health issues.
We do agree with, I think, the legislation that's being presented, that there is overdependence. We do think that it's creating some anxiety, but we do hope that we don't overlook there are many other factors creating this sense of anxiety, and that we would love to see those issues addressed also.
This passed the Senate this week, and it moves to the House vote next. In continuing coverage on attempts to pass a budget in Jefferson County, no county employees have been paid this year as a result of gridlock with the quorum court. The judge once again proposed his own budget on Tuesday night, while some quorum court members presented a different one, but neither had success. State Representative Glenn Barnes is the sponsor of a bill that would require a county who fails to pass a budget for the new year to revert to the previous year. It's set for a Senate vote today. And President Trump's new proposal regarding the future of Gaza is being met with some pushback. Trump proposed the U.S. take ownership of the territory, which would involve relocating roughly 2 million Palestinians who live there. Natalie Brand has the latest.
Amid the devastation in Gaza, Palestinians dismissed President Trump's plan to take over the war-torn territory. This man says we are staying to our last breath. President Trump's comments came during a joint news conference with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, saying Gaza could be a Riviera of the Middle East.
The U.S. will take over the Gaza Strip, and we will do a job with it, too. We'll own it and be responsible for dismantling all of the dangerous unexploded bombs and other weapons on the site, create an economic development that will supply unlimited numbers of jobs and housing for the people of the area.
President Trump has suggested Egypt and Jordan take in the roughly 2 million Palestinians who would be displaced, a proposal both nations rejected. And there's new opposition to the president's latest proposal.
It's not seen as serious.
Brian Koutulis of the Middle East Institute recently returned from the region.
It's not an actual plan to actually resolve these issues. And if anything, it'll make America less relevant in the reshaping of the region that's already going on.
President Trump's national security advisor, Mike Waltz, said other realistic solutions haven't been offered.
He puts some very bold, fresh, new ideas out on the table. I don't think should be criticized in any way. I think it's going to bring the entire region to come with their own solutions if they don't like Mr. Trump's solutions.
The comments come at a delicate time while negotiations are underway to implement the second phase of the hostage release ceasefire deal with Hamas. Natalie Brand, CBS News, the White House.
When asked who would live in the rebuilt Gaza, Trump said he envisions people from all over the world, including Palestinians, would live there. And pieces of that American Airlines jet that collided with an Army helicopter last week near the nation's capital are being pulled out of the Potomac River. 6 days after the deadliest U.S. air crash in 2 decades, D.C. Fire says additional remains have been recovered and are being identified. New drone video shows the crash site hours after the incident, with the Black Hawk helicopter mostly intact. Investigators are still trying to piece together how it all happened by reviewing flight data, cockpit recordings, and crew logs. They're also interviewing air traffic controllers to uncover if military helicopters should be sharing the aerospace with commercial traffic.
The answer to that is yes. It happens all the time. So this is not a zero-sum game. We are in this national capital region. What we should look at is say, have we missed anything in terms of how this is designed, how the routes of are designed, and is there anything that we would, should, or could do differently to prevent this from happening again?
A nationwide moment of silence was held Tuesday to honor the 67 lives lost, including members of the ice skating community.